Hello beautiful people of the internet, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A, which I'm quite excited about, although it was not the video I had planned to do. I'd filmed this really cool DIY scrapbooking video and then I deleted all the footage by accident. But it's okay, we're still putting out a video. So I asked for some questions on Instagram, so I'm just going to jump straight into those. I'm going to start with Laura's questions because I thought she had some really good ones. The first one was, what's something you've done recently that scared you? And I couldn't really think of like a specific thing, but I'm like a super introverted person, so I feel like I do something that scares me every day, which is just basically like going to work and doing my job, because I'm a journalist. If you didn't know, I'm a writer, so I do lots of interviews, I go to lots of events, which is like, you know, super fun to do, but it is really terrifying for an introverted person to just like put yourself out there and be all like schmoozy to all the publicists, like, oh hey girl, how are you, oh my gosh. Probably not exactly in that voice, but you get my point. Laura also asked, do you miss the old New Zealand YouTube community? And oh my goodness, I have been talking about this with so many people recently, both the New Zealand YouTube community and the old blogging community, because everything has changed so much recently. So to answer your question, Laura, yes, I do miss it, because back in the day, if you don't know, Tara and I started our blog 8 years ago and this YouTube channel I think 5 years ago. So we've been doing this for a long time, and when we first started out, everyone was just these like dorky little kids on the internet, and we just made friends online, and then we'd meet up in real life and it'd be really awkward because we were all like, we're off the internet. Comparing that to now, I feel like it's very much turned into like this celebrity, wanna be famous, make lots of money thing. Whereas when we started, like, that was never a thing. We just started it because it was fun and we liked doing it. And I do miss the little like meetups and things we used to do within the two different communities. It was super fun. Sarah asks, what are your long-term goals as Tara moving back to New Zealand? So first of all, yes, Tara's moving back to New Zealand, which I'm very, very excited about. But I won't talk too much about that because I feel like that's her story to tell. But it's happening very soon, so get excited. She's also vlogging, so stay tuned for her vlog. And what are my long-term goals? Why are you hitting me with the hard questions, Sarah? This is actually something that I've been thinking a lot about recently, because I'm always someone who's had goals, and basically since I was 13, my goal was to get the job that I have now. So now I have this job, I have to think of some new goals, and I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I would say that one of my long-term goals is to one day own my own business and be my own boss. That typical like millennial thinking, you know, I want to be my own boss, but hear me out, it's gonna be cool one day. Deborah, hey Deborah, you're awesome. Deborah wants to know what my biggest learning experience has been since moving out. So I'm sure a lot of you will have seen by now my moving vlogs, my apartment tour, which I'm very proud of. And one of the things I've learned since moving out, I don't know, I like being really independent. You know, one thing that I've learned is that I'm actually quite capable of things, because I coasted along when I was at home. Like, my mum is very lovely, she'd do my washing, she'd do all the cooking, and I was always like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do my job, you know, get home at 6:30 and like do all of these other things. But you know what, I'm actually managing pretty well. I'm pretty proud of myself. But I will say that living in the city is very expensive, and they've just put my rent up, so I probably won't be staying here, which I'm very sad about. Carwin asks, how do you make connections in the media industry? So as I said, I work as a journalist at a women's magazine here in New Zealand, and it is actually really hard to make connections within the media industry, because I started out, I knew no one, you know. I feel like a lot of people, they'll have like an aunt or like their mum, or like, there's a lot of nepotism going around in media. So that's how people like have their connections. A lot of the time it is family, and I didn't have any of those. So what I did was I just like followed and stalked everyone on the internet. I followed everyone on Twitter, everyone on Instagram, and that's actually how I got my first internship at Viva magazine, because I was following the deputy editor, and then she put out a tweet being like, hey, we need an intern, and I was like, hey. So that would, I guess, be my first tip. Just get online, get talking to people. It's a great way to make connections. And then of course go to in-person events as well. If you can find some that you can get invited to, just like try get yourself out there. Nate Wong asks, what are you most excited to do in Japan? Well, for the YouTube people who don't know, we are going on a big trip to Japan hopefully next year. We haven't booked it, we're saving. So let me know in the comments if you have any Japan recommendations. I am most excited to go skiing though. I am very excited for that. I have so many random silly questions just from my friends. Like Fleur asks, who is your favorite workmate? Fleur, it's you, don't worry. Fleur is my desk buddy and she gives me all the lols and helps me survive a day in the office, so thank you, Fleur. Eliza, my friend Eliza says, I can't say this full question because she's used a swear word and I cannot say that on YouTube or else they will demonetize me. So it says, who is your favorite wine crew? That would be you, Eliza. Thank you. And Aaron and Alex and all the other people I drink wine with, you're all great. Another question, what's some advice you would give to your high school self? I'm assuming it's cut off the end of the question in my screenshot. My high school or younger self. I'd like to say stop caring what other people think, but that's still something that I do. But I feel like in high school I was really bad about it. Like I was just so like, I hate talking about high school because I didn't enjoy high school. But yeah, I would tell myself to stop like stressing out so much about what people think, because 90% of those people I'm not even going to be friends with in the future. But I would say that really cute boy in your French class called Connor, you should definitely go out with him earlier because he really likes you and he's a really nice guy and you'll end up dating him for a while. So take note, past Ellen. Another question, what makes a good intern? So for those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you will know that I started off as an intern at Women's Day before I got my job there. And I've had a lot of interns come through the office that I've worked with since then. And it is surprising, it sounds really bad, but there's a lot of bad interns out there. And I did a lot of research before my internship. I watched all the videos on how to be a good intern. I read all the articles and I went in, and I think the key thing is you just have to be like super enthusiastic, like never come in being down by us or complaining that you're tired, like trying to be cool and like chat with your boss. Like be energetic, have enthusiasm, be that like fun energy, bring it into the office, which I just said I'm an introvert, so that's really hard for me, but that's what I did. Also make sure you take on like any task you're given, even if it's like the most boring thing ever. Like the amount of filing that I did when I was an intern, but you'd never hear me complain about it. And if someone was like, oh, do you want to do this? I'll be like, yeah, sure thing, I'll do it. I think that's one thing that I've had interns who have like assigned a task to and they're like, what's the other option I can do? And I'm just like, whoa. You have to remember that you're still an intern, you know, you're working with people who have been in the industry. I mean, I've only been there almost 3 years, but some people have been there for like 20 years in their job. So you can't just like waltz in on your first day and expect to write, you know, a cover story or anything like that. Or if you're working in fashion design, you're not going to be designing the next collection. You're going to be, I don't even know what you do at a fashion internship, like picking up scrap fabric or tidying the showroom, that kind of thing. So that is going to be it for this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you're following me on Instagram as well as Tara if you want to contribute to our next Q&A. I will see you in the next one. Bye!